Hello everyone. Oh, we're going live for the first time. We're gonna, hopefully you guys can hear me. We're gonna let people join. If you are joining, please write us a comment or send us a thumbs up. Let us know that you're watching. Let us know that you can hear. I know there's a little bit of a delay on YouTube, so whilst we wait for hopefully people to join and comment and let us know that you're here, I will start by telling you that in Scotland, it is a beautiful sunny day, a sunny spring day, and we have been out enjoying the sun with the puppies. So let us know where you are joining us from. What's it like where you are? I'm going to be sharing some music with you today, which is really exciting for our first YouTube. And then I'll be taking some questions. So if you are in the comments, you can, oh hey, Sandra's here. This is a very nice surprise. Well, surprise, Sandra. We are taking our lives over to YouTube. We were doing Facebook Lives. We're bringing them over to YouTube because not everyone is on Facebook and Instagram. And we want to make sure you guys all get to hear us. There we go. You see, I'm not on Facebook, so happy to hear that we're over here now. We are absolutely over here now and working with fancy technology. So William is here. He's working all these pop-ups and things like this, which is really exciting. So yeah, happy YouTube Day. Nice to have you here, Cherry. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so our comments are working. Our sound is working. Laurie says, looking forward to it. Nice, good. So am I. I'm really looking forward to sharing. Hello, Charlene. Yes, I know that not everyone has a Facebook account, so I really hope that this means that you can join in some of the fun. So I'm going to be playing some music for you. Hello, Keith. Happy first YouTube day. It's so nice to have you. Thanks for joining us, Keith. Okay, I'm going to play some music for you to start us off today. I'm really looking forward to sharing a couple of things which you might have heard before and one brand new thing which none of you will have heard before. So that will be really nice on this YouTube first. There's also a playing first for you all, but I'm going to start with one of my old favourites. So this is a really fun piece, I think, to play on the lever harp because it really demonstrates what the lever harp can do. So this is a composition by the wonderful Savourna Stevenson, and it's written for her daughter, Emily. This is Emily's Calling, and I hope you guys all enjoy it. That was lovely to share. It's a really fun piece. Oh, the little wiggle of the levers is really cool. Yes, this is called Emily's Calling, and it's by the wonderful Savourna Stevenson. Now, Savourna is an amazing composer of pieces for the harp. She's a wonderful harpist, amazing lever harpist and pedal harpist, but she's also a fantastic composer, and I really enjoy playing her pieces. They're challenging, but also inspiring and fun. So yes, do look out for her, Savourna Stevenson, and that was Emily's Calling. Thank you, Charlene. I'm really glad that you enjoyed it. It's really nice to see your comments. So thank you so much for being here and sharing with me. So next up is the little premiere for you all. So I never heard before one of my new songs. And so yes, I'm going to do a song for you all. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Linda. It's such a beautiful piece of music. So I'm going to do a traditional Scottish song for you. And this one is from the lowlands of Scotland. It's called the Sheerin's No For You. And I'm doing a kind of improvised arrangement of this because I like to be quite free with it and let it flow. Now, the song tells of a young lady who has fallen in love with a young man and has found herself pregnant. And the first verse says, the Sheerin's no for you, my bonny lassie, which is the harvesting in the lowlands. So when we were shearing, we were harvesting. And because her back winna boo, her back won't bend, and her belly's a rowan foo, her belly is growing with her new baby, she's not going to be able to take part in the harvest. So this is the Sheerin's No For You. Oh, the Sheerin's no for you, my bonny lassie. Oh, it's a bit of an emotional one, that, isn't it? Oh, thanks, Vicky. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. That's lovely. Thanks, Mareed. Oh, nice to have you all commenting in here with me. That was a new one, so yes, it does sound very like Scotland, doesn't it? Thanks, Cherry. That's really nice. I'm glad you liked it. Okay, guys. Remember, if you do have any questions that you'd like me to answer about the harp or about the pieces today or in general, then after I finish playing, I will be taking some questions. So if you've got any questions about technique or the arrangements or anything like that, thanks Rosie, thanks Karen, then please put them in the comments, because we will be saving those questions, and I have come to my last piece. So back to an old classic for you guys, and to bring the mood up a little bit, I'm going to play a piece called Marga's Moment, which is by the wonderful flute player Brian Finnegan. And this is actually a piece which I worked on a few years ago with Romy Weimer. Some of you might know her. She's one of my students from the RCS who graduated from the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, who graduated a number of years ago. And this is one of the pieces that we worked on together. And I really love the arrangement that happened in the lessons. So I'm going to share that with you. Now, this is an interesting piece because it is in the time signature 7/8. So it's an irregular time signature, which makes it a really interesting piece. And then I'm going to carry on into one of my own compositions, and this is called Midtown March. And we've got a little bit more lever work coming up in this piece. So this is my last one for today, guys, and do put any questions you have in the comments to get them ready for our little Q&A that's happening after this. So it is Marga's Moment and Midtown March. fun to play. And the dog's joining in the background. Don't you just love a live session? That's how you know it's really live. Oh dear. Oh, I'm really glad that you enjoyed it, Mary or Harper. Mary. I reckon it's Mary who plays the harp. Makes you want to dance. Yeah, it's a really fun one, isn't it? That really has a nice spring in its step. So which one was your favourite? Did you like Emily's Calling? Or the song? Or did you like the last set of tunes best? Beautiful pieces and beautiful arrangements. Thank you so much, Jane. That's really kind of you. Great to have you here, Pia. I'm really glad that you enjoyed it. Standing ovation. Thank you, Sandra. That's really kind of you. Oh, I'm really glad that you guys all enjoyed it. Anyone got a favourite? Is anyone giving us one of their favourites? Oh, no one's giving a favourite. Mesmerising and magical. Well, I'm glad that you guys all enjoyed it. It was fun. It was fun to play. So, if no one has any favourites, makes you want to practice your harp more. Good. Well, I'm glad to hear it because that's what we want you to be doing. The song was your favourite. Nice. That was a really nice one to share with you. It's nice to share new pieces and see how people like them. Cherry liked them all. I mean, they're all fun in their own way, aren't they? Yeah, Charlene, they're fun. Oh, thanks, Kathy. Was there any questions? Oh, there's some questions. So, Keith loved this song. It was soulful. Oh, thanks. Hello from Canada. That's nice. So, let's have some of these questions. I love getting troubleshooting. Is Sheerin in the tune bank? That is not one that's in the tune bank, but it is one that I could actually put in the tune bank because it's a traditional song. So I quite often, for those of you who don't know, I have a membership called How to Harp, the How to Harp membership. And in the membership, we learn different tunes, different pieces every month or every 3 months. We have 4 new tunes every 3 months. And sometimes people request pieces that they think are Scottish traditional pieces, but actually they're not Scottish traditional pieces. They're written by people who are playing Scottish music now. And what that means actually, because of copyright, because they're not kind of widely available, it's very hard for me to cover those pieces in the membership. So copyright, it just becomes really difficult. But the Sheerin song is a traditional song. So pop it in the requests, Kathy, and we will get to it. Okay, any other questions? He's going to bring them up on the screen. It's nice to have an assistant. Here we go. A while ago, you mentioned a new metronome course. When is this coming out? Well, the metronome course has been released into the membership. Pretty much everything that I release first goes into the membership. So the members get exclusive first access to almost everything that I create. There's a couple of courses that they don't have immediate access to. But the membership has got access at the moment to the metronome course. Now this will be released as a standalone course in the coming months once we have completed it within the membership. So probably around about August, it will be released for August, September for the general public. But if you can't wait, I would recommend jumping into the membership now because it's there. It's ready and it's being released. Thanks for the question. Did you write the words to the Sheerin song? No, I did not write those words. So that is a traditional song. We think it's from the 19th century because that's when agriculture was so strong. I believe the first person to sing it was possibly Ed Miller. I think that's who brought it kind of into popularity. But it's a traditional song, so I did not write the lyrics or the melody. I just chose the chords and the arrangement of the piece. How do you manage to bring out so much emotion, authenticity and feeling in your playing? Does it come from within and grow with confidence, or is it something you can learn? That's a really fantastic question, Cherry. I think that I definitely, when I was first starting the harp, I don't think that I played with emotion at all. I think that I was very much thinking about getting the notes right, thinking about getting my technique right, and those things were probably foremost in my mind as I was playing. And I really doubt that the playing came across as emotive or sensitive as I try to make it now. A lot of it comes from very specific, detailed practice on controlling your fingers as like individual entities. So I feel really passionate about having individual control over each of your fingers, making sure that the dynamic that you're looking for, you can really place exactly no matter which finger you're plucking with, and you can bring out certain notes with certain phrases. So I think that kind of work, that technical work, has helped me to try and bring out how I'm feeling inside into the music. But I think it's also something that comes with experience. And I have to say that this kind of setting is very strange, because usually when you're performing, I find that you actually kind of bounce off the feeling in the audience. And here I am performing to a camera, although William's also here. So maybe I was bouncing off his energy a little bit, and the dogs too have a presence. But yeah, you have to very much, I think in this situation, draw from within, because there isn't an audience to bounce off of. But detailed practice on your technical work, really thinking about dynamic and feel as you play that technical work, and then putting it into your tunes as well would be my advice. Can you explain 7/8 time? Yeah, great question. So in a time signature, the top number, in very simple terms, the top number tells you how many beats are in the bar, and the bottom number tells you the type of beat that you're counting. So in 7/8 time, we're counting 7 beats per bar. The top number 7 tells us there's 7 beats per bar. And the 8 on the bottom tells us that we're counting quavers, or eighth notes. So that means we're actually counting 7 notes that are worth half a beat. And the thing about 7/8 is it's a type of irregular time signature. Now, regular time signatures like 4/4 and 3/4, things that you see more often, these have got quite, they've got certain ways that you can interpret the rhythm. They have natural, strong and weak beats in the bar. Let's take 3/4, for example, which is waltz time. We're very used to hearing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 as we dance a waltz or play a waltz. 7/8 time, which is irregular time, it doesn't have any rules on the grouping of notes or the stressing of certain beats in the bar. And so the tune that I played, Marga's Moment, it's a really interesting one, because the way that the beats are grouped at first are 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ba 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 ba. And then at the very end, Brian switches the bar around and we get da ga da ga 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 ga. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you can group the notes in 7/8 any way you want. So then we end up with a ba 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 ba, and it becomes a really fun tune to kind of play around with the rhythm in there. But in simple terms, you're counting 7 quaver notes, 7 eighth notes, 7 notes that are worth half a beat in one bar. Do you have to be able to read music to join in my lessons? Absolutely not. Everything is taught in the How to Harp membership is taught by ear and using close-up on the hands, so you can hear me teaching you and you can see a close-up view of my hand. There's 2 different types of course. There's a full course where I very much talk you through everything, place your fingers on these strings, think about the shapes. And that's released over 3 months, so it takes you 3 months to learn one arrangement. And then there's also what we call a quick learn. That doesn't mean that it's quick to learn. It more means that it's quick to teach. And rather than me taking you step by step through all the notes, what you get is the sheet music, an overview of tips and things to watch out for in the piece, and then a slowed down demonstration of the right hand and of the left hand and of hands together. So for any of these courses, you do not have to read music. However, I am really passionate about people becoming sustainable learners. And if you do learn to read music, you will open up lots of different music for you to be able to play. And so we also have a beginner series in the membership where in each session I teach some theory, in other words, some stuff about how to read and understand music, some technical work, and some repertoire. So you don't need to learn to read music if you don't want to. You don't need to read music to take part in the lessons, but you can learn to read music through the membership. How do we know the left hand damping and how do we do the left hand damping and muffling technique? This technique, which I use a lot in my left hand, is called etufi, when I use a flat hand. I use quite a few different damping techniques, but the most that I used in this piece was the flat hand, which is called etufi. There are 3 lessons on etufi in the membership. There's 2 standalone lessons about how to play like this with your left hand, and there's one within the extended harp techniques short course. So Susanna, they're in the membership there for you. I know you're one of our members, so I would recommend starting with individual exercises in the tune bank. Search for etufi, lesson 1 and lesson 2. Do you have any plans to sell sheet music for your Nae Suites album? I love listening to it, especially For the Love of Levers. For the Love of Levers is such a fun piece to play and really hard. Yes, we do plan to open up a sheet music shop. We are asked for this very, very often. Currently, we are going through a complete refurbishment of the Heather Downie Harpist website. And once that is complete, there will be a sheet music shop there. And we absolutely will include sheet music from my album, Nae Suites for Shy Bairns. And thank you so much. I'm really glad that you enjoy it. Last one. Ooh, I did well there, didn't I? How did you start playing the harp? Oh my gosh, how much time do we have? Do you want the long version? I'm going to give you the middle version. So when I was, I think about 4 or 5, I don't actually remember this, but my mum tells me this story. She took me to the ballet. We got front row tickets. And she was really hoping that her darling daughter would take up ballet lessons and become an elegant ballerina, which did not happen. I think I maybe did do ballet, but it certainly didn't stick. I am not a graceful person. I am extremely clumsy. William will testify to that. Yes? Correct, he says. I am not a ballerina. I have no sense of balance at all. But what happened when we went to that ballet show is I spent the whole time staring down into the orchestra pit. And I do remember, for as long as I can remember, being totally fascinated by the harp. And apparently this is where it started. I was mesmerised by the whole orchestra pit, but in particular the harpist. And I always was asking, can we have harp lessons? Can I learn the harp? Please, 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 I want the harp. And unfortunately, as many of you probably know, harps are very expensive, and it wasn't something that was possible for us when I was a child. But my mum, my wonderful mum, signed me up for free piano lessons through the school. So I started learning the piano again, as early as I can remember, I think maybe 6 or something. But I never gave up my dream of the harp. So I started to save my pocket money. And when we were on holiday, when I was 14 or 15, we went to Inverness, a staycation. And there was an old historical kind of, I guess you would call it a culture museum. It wasn't a large museum like you might think about, you know, the National Gallery or something like this, but it was a small old building in Inverness. Unfortunately, it's not around anymore, but called Balnain House. And it was a Scottish culture place, and there was an advert for a second-hand lever harp. We didn't know anything about lever harps. We had no idea what condition it needed to be in or anything like this. It turned out that it was a very old lever harp, and it didn't matter because I loved it. We managed to get the second-hand harp because we wrote to the Dunblane Trust, which I'm forever grateful for them. So the Dunblane Trust was set up for the children of Dunblane, and we wrote to the Dunblane Trust and they gave us some money, and I was able to get my first harp. And I taught myself for the first couple of years of learning. And this is when I'm so grateful for my mum telling me to go for piano lessons, because by this time I was maybe grade 7 piano and I'd done all my theory and all this sort of stuff. So it was fairly accessible for me to teach myself the harp. There wasn't a local teacher. It was really hard to find someone, but eventually my mum did find someone, and I went to Charlotte McGirr for a year before heading off to university. So that's how I started playing the harp. And one of the reasons I set up the How to Harp membership is because when I was younger, financially, the harp wasn't accessible to me because of finances. And so the How to Harp membership, I hope, makes the harp accessible to more people as an option. So I feel quite passionate about that. And Camac harps have also helped me out hugely, because when I got accepted into university, I needed a proper harp with actual levers, and Camac really helped us with that too. So I'm eternally grateful to Camac as well. And the rest is history. Is there any more questions come in? Is that it finished? Oh, there's another one. Colleen asks, how did you find adapting from the pedal to lever harp and different types of strings like nylon versus gut? So first of all, I didn't adapt from the pedal to the lever harp. I adapted from the lever to pedal harp. Do you know, this is an interesting one, because I think a lot of people talk about and highlight the differences between the harps, and they are different, but there's so much more similarities than there are differences between the two harps. The biggest thing I found difficult, so I learned a bit of pedal harp when I was back at university. I always learned on the lever harp before I went to university, and then I learned a couple of second study lessons on pedal harp. And then I didn't have a pedal harp, so for years it kind of just wasn't there. But now you might notice in the background I do have a pedal harp now. So this is Flo, and I only got her a year ago. So I got my first pedal harp 1 year ago. She is a Camac Canopy, and she is beautiful. The thing that I found the hardest about adapting is not the strings types or the string distance or even the pedals. It's actually the sheer size of her. So she's quite almost intimidating. And I still feel that sometimes. I still feel like she's so big, controlling her. And just as I lean her back, I feel like I'm looking up like this, just as I imagine leaning her back onto me, like she's just so big. And that's what I found hardest to adapt to. I play carbon fibre strings on my lever harps. I really love carbon fibre strings. And I've not found a huge difference in adapting to the nylon and the gut strings. So my pedal harp has nylon and gut strings, depending on the octave, and has wire strings. and I don't feel that much difference between these two particular harps, possibly because Kamak are so good at making both types of harps and helping you transition between their instruments. But sometimes when I play other gut harps, I actually find that my fingers kind of stick a little bit on the strings, which I don't particularly like. And I would say it depends on the string type. So I don't have an issue on the Kamak gut strings. I just have an issue on some certain types of gut strings. They almost feel like my fingers get stuck. So yeah, that's how I felt adapting to the pedal harp. Oh, is singing whilst playing the harp a lot harder than just playing without singing? I actually don't much prefer it. They've both got their own like ups and downs, but I feel really comfortable singing with my harp. I really, really love singing with my harp. So I don't think it's a lot harder. I personally think singing with harp is easier than playing on its own. Yeah, for me, I just feel really connected when I'm singing. I feel like the harp is like very much an extension of me, especially when I'm singing. So for me, I find it easier and more intuitive. So like I said, when I sang my song, I worked out some chords and I'd worked out a bit of a bridge idea, and after that I just sang. And I really like that kind of spontaneity, whereas I would find that harder in the tunes that I played. They are all arranged and I knew what part was coming next and what I should be playing next. So yeah, for me, I find it easier singing, but I think everyone will be different. How long would you suggest for practicing? Should you factor in breaks or rest for your fingers? How long is a piece of string, Cherry? It depends on you. It depends on your situation. Some of us have got full-time jobs, and realistically practicing for, 3 hours isn't going to happen. If you've got a full-time job and a family and young children or dogs or all these other adult responsibilities, you have to fit in the time that you have and enjoy the time that you have at your harp. If you're studying harp at university, then you're going to make time for maybe 4 or 5 hours of practice a day, broken up through the day. I think that it's not great to practice for longer than an hour. Personally, I think that not only do you need to stretch your body, but you also need to stretch your mind. So I think that an hour is plenty, certainly for me. After that, get up, walk around, stretch, go for a walk, take a cup of tea, get yourself into another space and come back. So if you do have a lot of time to practice, definitely break it up. And everybody's body is different as well. So when I say an hour is enough for me, you might find after 20 minutes that you need to stretch your body and you need to just walk around the house for 2 minutes, and that's okay. So I think it's about tuning into yourself as much as saying this is how long you should practice for. Have we done all the questions? We've done all the questions. That was such a lovely, lovely session. And I think it went pretty smoothly. I think for our first live, it went pretty good. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming. We do have another live YouTube, which is scheduled for next week, or it will be scheduled for next week right after I finish this session. It is for Monday the 22nd at 8 p.m. UK time. Some of you might have noticed that I have been talking about active listening and finding new music. We are going to give you a free session on active listening. Okay, we're going to teach you a little bit about some of the stuff that active listening entails and how you can do some active listening yourself. So we have a free session Monday the 22nd of April at 8 p.m. UK time. It's going to be scheduled in just a moment and you'll all be able to click that notify button. And all of our lives moving forward are going to be on YouTube. So please do look out for the monthly YouTube lives where I'll be doing questions, playing music, And in order to keep up to date with what's going on, please do subscribe to the channel, like the videos. It really, really helps us to keep things going if you've made sure that you're subscribed and you like the videos that we're producing. Thank you, Nikki. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming along. So Monday night, please put in your diary, Monday the 22nd of April, 8 p.m. UK time. We're going to be doing our session on active listening. When do you sleep? You and William and the team do so much. It's quite incredible and impressive. I hope you get time for your own projects too. These are our projects. No, we do. We actually, William and I spent the afternoon outside with the puppies. In the beautiful weather. The puppies were running around, tearing about. William brushed Buddy. Buddy's William's dog, for those of you who don't know. William brushed Buddy. His hair was flying all over the garden. The puppies were chewing it all up. It was a great afternoon. Very, very relaxing and very lovely way to spend the afternoon. And now I got to spend my evening playing harp and chatting to you guys. I'm very, very lucky in what I do, and I really appreciate you all coming and supporting us. And of course I appreciate the team as well. We've got William, who does all our technology stuff and puts up with me, and Lauren, who does lots of the scheduling and just all the organisational things. And we've got all the volunteer sweet peas who we really appreciate, who help us out in the membership. So we're very lucky. Thank you all so much for your lovely comments and what you're sharing. I really appreciate you guys being here. I've so enjoyed spending this time with you and sharing some music and answering some questions. Thank you all so much for watching. Remember, Monday the 22nd of April at 8 p.m. we'll be having our active listening session. So please pop it in your diary. I really hope that you can join us. And until then, everybody, I am going to say goodbye. Thank you so much for coming.